So the new single from Huntley is Skyline Drive. When did you actually track it and finish it?
We actually tracked and finished it in one day, and we went. I actually recorded at the Vault Studio, which is located in the DC DMV area in Hyattsville, Maryland,
Hmm.
and as well as 38 North, and the combo of the two studios is just brilliant. I really love what they both bring to the table, and my engineer on that was Jake Vicious, and he really did an amazing job, just like orchestrating everything and putting it together. Yeah, we try to go back to the studio maybe one or two more times within a week, but we ended up just keeping our first mix. We just felt like it was the most raw, and I'm trying to take a different approach to my music than a lot of the artists are doing now, where I know I don't have the best voice, and I
Oh,
did win the voice competition.
I didn't say that one. You said that.
But I just try to. I think that what draws people to my voice is that like I sing through the imperfections, and that I keep my voice raw,
Hmm.
and I don't try to change with a lot of auto tune and a lot of stuff that tries to fix it. I feel like once we try to do that stuff to my voice and my music, it just takes a lot away from the real soul, and it takes a lot out of the. It's like the kind of music that I like to listen to, just real, raw, genuine music.
Yeah. Well, going back and getting a little name checky here, Patrick, who did your music video, also worked at Jelly Roll, Yellow Wolf, etc. And the reason I bring that up is those are artists that you can't clearly go, this is the genre they're in, this is what they do. I feel that same way about you because there's the soul element, there's the blues element, there's also the vocal shredding, the way that there's a guitar shredder, there's the vocal shredder element. But then going through your bio, you were originally in a metal cover band. So the original
Well,
goal of where you are now, is it an accident that you were undefinable?
Well, it's really funny. I was in a metal band, but we never did any covers. I mean, I started in like hardcore metal at 16. That's where I really got my start, and
Oh,
I swayed to like the acoustic guitar, and but I still have elements of those rock days. But uh, I really feel like I mean I'm lucky enough to understand that when everybody tries to tell me that I need to have a brand, I need to stay in my lane, that I need to, find who I am. And, I've been on some other competition shows where they loved my voice, but they told me they didn't know how to brand me. And I used to take like offense to that. Like, I didn't fit in anywhere. Cause, I'm definitely not, I wouldn't say a metalhead. I definitely wouldn't say I'm pop. Uh, and I would say that I was lucky enough to be born, 1990, dead beat in the middle of all this chaos. My older siblings all had beepers. I don't know if anyone remembers what those are, but
yes.
like I just remember, it just a lot of mixture of music. I mean, I remember back then. I mean, like two of the biggest artists were at that time, Tupac and Biggie, let alone like acts like TLC and we can go on. I mean, I'm a big fan of Lil Wayne. I mean, I'm an 04, 08 in high school, that in that era. So I mean, I feel like even like elements of him like doing freestyles and me freestyle singing, because I felt like, oh, he does it singing. I mean, rapping, why can't I do it singing? And just bringing those elements of just using my ear and understanding that no one's perfect, the artist isn't perfect, and that I feel like right now I definitely want people to listen to what I have to say, and I'm just writing honestly, not really to what a listener's ear would want to listen to. I'm just writing the music that comes naturally from how I'm feeling in the mood. And, I think that picking the songs between my team has been a really amazing opportunity for us all to bond and work together, because now, it's not just all leaning on me to see what songs to pick. Like I could just focus on writing, not thinking about what song's going first, what song's going to go here. And this is one of my newest songs. I didn't even know if I was going to be releasing it. And
Mhm.
my manager Edward Crow said, "This is the song." We were set to release another song, and
Mhm.
he just felt like this song was right for the moment. And as a Florida boy, born right outside. Oh, there's my cat. Sorry about that.
No sorries. That it shows that you're a human being if you have an
Oh
animal that
yeah,
roaming
Yeah,
around.
my cat is kind of obsessed with me too, so she just wants to get some screen time. But I really feel that you know having a team around you and just letting you write and not thinking about all those things like what brand and where you're going, just the honest music is going to come out. And I think that's the beauty of the way that I've been doing these releases are as singles, and not that I'm never going to put them, maybe I might put them in an album together or do something like that, but I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just trying to write honestly. And I want when people come to see my show that they feel like they even got more seeing it in person than they did when they heard it on the record. Like the record's big and my voice shows, but I mean, it's, my voice is just something else to be heard in person. It just, I'm a playing musician. I did, even though it seems like an overnight success with the voice, I mean, I'm 34 years old. I've been busting my chops for a while with a lot of opportunities come and go, and a lot of highs and a lot of lows. So I know with every up, comes a down, and I mean, it's a wave that you just ride. But I just feel like right now I have a lot of mixtures of sounds that I've just cultivated in my heart and how I feel, and just staying genuine to what I know that my voice can do. And no matter what I sing over top of it, it's going to come across as Huntley singing it. And I feel like, I forget what artist it was, but he said that it's sad because nowadays you hear a song on the radio and you can't pick that artist. Like you can't see who it is, or you can't, when you hear them, that the first 3 seconds, you're not like, oh, like that's Ben King, or like, oh, that's the Temptations, or like, oh, that's the Mamas and Papas, or like, oh, that's Aerosmith, or that's Guns N' Roses. And I feel like when I have my music, and as soon as you hear my voice, it doesn't matter if I'm singing a Southern rock ballad that I wrote about my, basically my love song towards Virginia, or if I'm singing a song about how, I'm sick of my heart being broken, no matter if it's from a girl or life's tragedies, So it's been an adventure at 34 years old, just kind of being humbled by the moment, knowing that, like, I'm not, as well as I love this dream and people are finally starting to notice me, that I know who I am, and to always stay true and humble to that.
Yeah. So something that you just mentioned that a lot of people peg you as an overnight success, yeah, you're in your early 30s. I find most of the artists I know who are successful made it in their 30s, but they had a bunch of false starts in their early to mid 20s where there was a record label deal that didn't pan out, or you signed the deal and then the album didn't come out, etc. What was it in your case that kept you going, knowing that it was such a long slog?
I mean, I've had lots of opportunities come and go. I've always been a dreamer. I wasn't somebody that was like, oh, like I, someone told me I should do this, or my parents were forcing me to do this, or like I was giving guitar lessons. Like I was a kid that just learned how to play by ear and just sing. I've always sang, like, no matter what. And I mean, just seeing my kids, it definitely runs, through my gene pool in some shape or form, but they're just indulged in music themselves. And I feel that, you know, I trusted, like, my belief in not only myself, but like God was really just touching on my heart to not give up on this, and that, there was gonna be something better on the other side. Now, that song I wrote, Tell Me When It's Over, also describes the moment when you get on the other side, how it's not really that greener, then there's a whole nother peak to climb. And I think that's one of my missions in life, is just to understand that there's always going to be like chaos within the beauty. You know what I mean? Like it's in those moments where I feel like I'm going to give up. I mean, those moments aren't over. I think that I have a long road ahead of me where I'm going to have those moments, and I've just always had the guts to take the risk. I guess what they say now, there's more stupid millionaires than there are smart ones, because all the smart people think of all the risk and the danger, and the big lugheads with me, just go out there swinging and hoping that something's going to stick. But it was through a lot of hard work, and I'm not going to lie, I probably was at my breaking point. And I literally signed up to be a substitute teacher, and I was making spaghetti and meatballs for my two kids, and I got a call from a California number. And, you know, being the funny guy I am, I start talking like Adam Sandler, you know, trying to mess with the telemarketer. And it happened to be the voice casting team. And they were telling me that, you know, they had an opportunity for me. And of course, me and my daughter started screaming and laughing. And the person on the phone was crying and screaming and laughing. We were all just like, you know, a big mess. My buddy that was over there had no idea. He probably wasn't even supposed to know legally that I goes on the show. He was there. I'm like, sorry, man. I'm like, you gotta go. He's like, what? I mean, he found out months later, but it's just like, I was like, you need to leave right now. And, you know, I just feel that, you know, with as much opportunity as it is, and as good as people say I am, or, you know, that I deserve this, I mean, this is a very slim opportunity that I was given, and just to give it to luck is insane, you know. And, you know, one of the things that I'm very, very grateful for is that I realized what is important to me through this whole process. And I feel like if I wouldn't have got that, this whole experience would have just meant nothing. And I mean, you see these voice contestants come and go, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you know, I love The Voice. You know, The Voice is an amazing corporation, and they're amazing. I mean, the way that they ran everything was just crazy, precise, and logistical. And they were so kind and nice to everybody and took care of everyone. You know, but they don't promise us success from the beginning. They tell us, they said, just because you win the show doesn't mean that you're going to be given success. And as someone who never thought they were going to win, and who's used to being an underdog my whole life, this opportunity was just something I wanted to go out and have like just create an experience every single time. And now taking that from the show, and I'm out here in the real world using this as really the catapult for my whole career, is that when I'm going out there, I'm not just going out there to sing what people are just gonna, I mean, who am I? I mean, you know, why are people just gonna flock to me? And why? Because I won this show. I mean, so I just want to make sure I go out there every time and create an experience.
Well, I've got one more question for you, and then I let you go. And it's always a stock annoying question, go, who are your influences? And there's that. And I find that a lot of times a singer, it's clear who their vocal influences were. But singing in a studio or on the record is very different than performing live, being a live great frontman. I was curious who inspired you as a performer, not the singing, here's my range, here's my shredding abilities, but in terms of knowing how to work a crowd and have stage presence, who really pushed you on that end?
You know, I feel that, I mean, of course, I mean, when you're out there, you just need to make sure that you're just being you. I feel like when people try to like do all those accolades, and I can name a few bands, but I'm not going to, that, you know, try to portray people like, you know, Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin or like some of the greats. And I mean, they try, it kind of emulates to that, which it's great, you know, acting. But I feel like when you're singing from your heart, and you know, I now let alone I'm not catapulting from, you know, I'm not doing no Bon Jovi's or, you know, Pink, where she like catapults across the arena.
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing any of that stuff yet. So, but you know, for me, I think maybe just seeing the influence of people like Ray Charles, Joe Cocker, Steven Tyler, I mean, Jack White. I mean, the list could go on. I mean, I'm a big Taken Back Sunday fan from back in the day. You know, R.I.P. As I Lay Dying. I know they're not, you know, I can go on. I mean, I'm a big metal guy. So for me, the whole thing is our band sucked. And the only way that we would be able to put on a show is that we'd be throwing the mic, spinning the microphone around, or not that I do that now, you know what I mean? But I would say that, just like I kind of said on the show, that, you know, I'm not scared to just be myself up there. And I might have a set list and I might change the song's orders because I just feel it. But I mean, you know, I was a huge fan of the Val Kilmer, The Doors. I'm not sure if as an adult, I love the movie, but as an adult, I don't know if I'm a big fan of James Morrison, the adult. But Van Kilmer as James Morrison was a good one. But I don't know. It's just a lot of, just make sure when you go out there, you believe what you're saying, and that you're not scared to show what you're feeling on stage. And my mom's from Jersey, so I'm not afraid to hold back any of my little intricacies.
Before I let you go, where in Jersey is your mom from?
She was born in Toms River, but she lives everywhere from like Point Pleasant. I have family in Jackson, Bricktown.
That's basically where my wife's family's from. Jackson, you got Six Flags, Point Pleasant. What's the nickname for Point
Yeah,
Pleasant?
my mother when she was actually 18, actually she was 18 years old and she just had her first child. She would bring my sister with her to work as a ticketer at Six Flags. Yeah, and my uncle, who is Ray Hosford, he was fire chief of the Jackson Fire Department when they went up to 9/11. He actually died from complications from 9/11.
Oh, well, Jackson, Howell, Jersey Shore. Glad to see it's represented through the Huntley music. But hey, thank you for your time. Looking forward to what's to come. Looking forward to the next single, the next New York gig, and just keep up the great work. It's wonderful to see the authentic artistry that you put out there.
Thanks, brother.
Having gotten through the machine.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. I swear, I joke. I didn't drink from the chalice. I promise.
Paltrocast.